Lev, how did you develop English language proficiency in speaking? What are the strategies that you used while developing it?
Okay. Like I started learn English when I was 8 to school, and since that every day for 10 years I had English lessons, so like reading, speaking, and we did a lot, like every day we had, because it was special school. And after I think I get my basis there, and like what I did after, it somehow happened that I went to China and there were a lot of foreigners, like a lot of, and some English speakers, non-English speakers, somebody for who English is native or not, and it was just a lot of experience, a lot of practice, just always every day for 4 years. I just speak English like every day with different people, with different accents, and sometimes I learn from them, and sometimes I learned wrong because I was talking with somebody for who English is not native language, and so somehow we had the same mistake. But anyway, it was practice, and like I trained, my ears maybe, and like I can understand now almost like all maybe accents, and I don't have any like difficulties with talking.
Okay. Could you please tell me? I mean, did you learn? Did you practice English, learning yourself alone, somewhere, like walking or listening music or reading newspapers? What are the strategies that you used while developing it?
I watched a lot of movies in English, and I tried to read some books. Not all books I can read till now, but most of them with dictionaries. But there were a couple that I could read, just read. And even if I don't understand something, it was always something that I find new for me.
Okay.
And a lot of like movies and without subtitles, because even with subtitles, even with English subtitles, I read.
Okay.
But if there is no subtitles, I can just listen, and of course I don't understand everything, but anyway, every time there is something new.
Okay. So, I mean, people find very difficult, let's say, to speak in front of people in their initial phase, in the starting phase, you know. So, what do you think? We need self-confidence to speak, or we have to develop it? And do you think the necessary of motivation while speaking? What about self-confidence?
Yeah,
and
of course,
motivation?
we need the thing we need most of all, the self-confidence during speaking foreign language. But you won't get it until you practice it. So you would just go straight, and whatever happens will happen. So just practice, and nothing will give you confidence. Even I met a lot of people whose knowledge were much better than mine, but they couldn't speak. They couldn't use their knowledge. So like it should be practice. Just go and do it. It can be mistakes. It's even like some person can like get angry with you because you're so like annoying, but it's just one person, and you need to improve your language for all your life. So just
thank you so much. Thank you, Lev. Thank you.
Yes.
Speaking skill exactly, okay?
Yes, Binod. My language skills and experience went through actually using the language, and I had a basic knowledge about the tenses and basic things about English, but I never knew it perfectly just because I never needed to use it.
Okay.
So as soon as I moved to London and I needed to use the language on a daily basis, it helped me to get it much quicker, but in the same time I did not need necessarily to write it. And at the moment many times I can't see my mistakes because the intonations or spelling I didn't go through. That's why that is my weakest point.
Okay. Though you can speak well because you have good fluency, and if you don't have accuracy also, what do you think? Speaking plays a vital role, right? To say the things. What were the courses you were telling me? So you took some courses and you went and you tried to listen to people, you tried to observe the people in London or UK.
Yes.
Right?
In London, I was willing already to work as a teacher in London, and therefore I needed certificate that I can work officially in the schools. And I went to Cambridge certificate, and I got the Cambridge certificate.
Yes.
At that time, I just didn't happen to work in a school, but to move to another country, which is Singapore, which is another English-speaking country, and I just needed to get used to the accents. And in Singapore, for example, people are using very much shortcuts of the sentence, so they're not using the same as English.
Used in UK or somewhere else.
Yes.
Okay.
But I didn't find any problem there as well. I found that reading the news, reading the book, get the information, I can get everything what I want.
Okay. Yes. People think that when we speak, self-confidence play a vital role. People become very afraid of speaking in front of many people. Okay. What do you think? Self-confidence is also very important while speaking.
It is very important, because even if you're making a mistake and if you can feel that you're making a mistake, self-confidence plays a big role.
Okay.
If you're self-confident, then all the rest of the public might not gonna even pay attention that you're making a mistake.
Okay.
But if you do not feel self-confident, then every single person gonna feel that you are a little bit struggling.
Good. Okay, moving to next one. People sometimes, some people say, let's say, sometimes British English, sometimes American English, and what do you think? Did you practice some pronunciation? How to pronounce correctly the words in English language? Did you practice for pronunciation actually, or you just learned without practicing?
Naturally, I didn't practice it.
Okay, so how did you learn this then? To catch the
using the language,
okay,
and speaking with the English-speaking people.
Okay.
Of course, in my primary school, I went through official English where I needed to have the spelling and I needed to know it, but I knew it. Then afterwards, I didn't use it for 7 years, and when I start to use already English, I think I forgot already from all the grammatical spelling by that time. So I would say it was just coming from people and from using the language.
Okay, because you lived with many native speakers and you spoke with them, therefore you improved your pronunciation or your speaking, right?
And yes, and also in London, for example, there are many other culture people. For example, I was much together with Polish people, and I could hear their mistake in a language, and I could just understand that it must be that my language is the same wrong as well, with the accents and with the spellings and with the shortcuts and so on. So I was kind of paying my attention to read out of the mistakes.
Thank you so much. Thank you.